Good morning, guys. How you guys doing? How's everything? Damn, you guys, man, look at this thing, huh? That's the news of the day, huh? You guys see this shit? Look at this. Insane. Insane stock, man.
Zooming all the way, bro.
Yup. But the thing is, probably breaks here, goes up, and then it's gonna be profit taking at the open. Seems like that. Too strong for not to take profit taking, but at the end of the day, right? We remember what Tesla did, right? So can't really imagine that. But for now, I think Zoom is it's made the run and it's kind of done here very soon. Uh, Man, this stock, remember this stock was at 60 bucks before literally coronavirus. Now it's at 330, guys. It is insane about the fact that how much wealth there has been created with these stocks, but then at the same time, right? Like it's literally a pandemic. How insane is that? See, even on the bad side, you can make money, right? Literally, the world was going to shit, and literally, you could have been making so much fucking wealth. It's insane, right? That's why the stock market is a lifelong lesson, guys. So I don't, try to hurry or don't try to, make it happen in one day, because, if you do that, you're gonna tire yourself out, and you're not gonna, you know, reap the reward. Basically, how they say it. If you keep this as a little bit of long term, right? You kind of remember that, it's not really about, just one day. It's a marathon. It'll be always good. Nice little long. Uh, but yeah, guys, with this Zoom, I think it's just, either it's going to be done here, forming this little bull flag and a bear flag at the same time. We're going to have to see which way this breaks. Whichever way this breaks, we'll see, a little bit better of a direction, but maybe a push toward the 470s, 500s. Other than that, this should be done here very soon. Profit taking is going to be a big thing, I'd say on Zoom. Because Zoom isn't always, somebody that just follows the market as well. So we have to kind of understand that as well, because Zoom is something that's like Roku, right? Sometimes it has a mind of its own, right? It doesn't always big payday. Hopefully, man. Let's see, man. Hopefully, I can get some to Zoom and Tesla, and make something happen, or even a couple other stocks that are doing pretty good today. You know. Um, Roku, our favorite, man, is coming up right now. Man, Roku holds. Today's gonna be a ripper. It's gonna be easy, man. Easy long that we see. Give me one second, guys. I just got coffee. My bad. Well, bro, Zoom, the problem with Zoom was this, right? It was just in a downtrend, right? And it was holding this thing, right? If it holds, it was going to rip, but the same thing, right? Being the fact that, the easy way for them to, basically do was, basically short squeeze more people out. So, it's insane, man. Bro, the amount of stuff that's going on, right? Like you guys gotta understand, right? The amount of lessons that I have even learned from just watching these stocks, man, is insane, guys. Like it's actually like it's literally unvaluable. You know why? Well, because the reason is this, right, guys? Now I kind of fully understand the fact that once we're in this short squeeze, doesn't matter what happens, right? Things are gonna just keep on ripping up, right? Simple as that. And the thing with Zoom was it was so simple in the fact that guess what? everybody, right, literally works from home. Schools have a choice of opening, but the problem is parents are still fearful, right? Just take a little sip of that coffee. But uh, that was hot. But parents are still fearful. So guess what? School, colleges are mainly from guess what? Zoom, right? So the problem is there was literally just nothing that could have stopped this thing. All-time highs, and then another rip up. Guess what? It's gonna rip up another 100 points higher. Why? Well, because guess what? They know they got the short squeezed, right? So that's it, guys. That's all it is. It's just one person getting caught, man. With this one hedge fund getting caught and they just losing $100 million. To them, it's not really a big point, simply because of the fact that guess what? On a $1 trillion, like that's just that's like me guessing, right? Let's say like 2-3 trillion dollars, 100 million, it's like 20%, or something, or let's say collectively there's like 4 or 5 different hedge funds that are worth $3 trillion, and they lose like $100 million on shorts. It's not really a big deal to them because guess what? They can all work, because they still got like the other rest of the year to get them, you know, get people to that 20% gain, or and it was a lifetime thing, man, where a lot of these hedge funds just kept buying, man, here to the lows, and just keep on adding, and so they're making money either way. That doesn't matter, right? But a lot of people, simple as that, right? Somebody got squeezed and they just, oof, man, this thing is insane, guys. Well, but guess what? We're gonna see the down move finally now. So heavy watching zoom to the downside, but of course, guys, all right, if it breaks this little bull flag right here and it holds above 455, 450s, do not touch it to the downside. Let it go all the way up toward the 470s, and then see if it wants to be profit taking, or if it comes under 430s and it holds, or even 440s. Guess what? Then we're gonna short this thing to the downside, maybe even toward the 423s, and then see if this breaks, and then see how further it can go down, right? But other than that, guys, the market seems pretty strong today, for me. Literally looking at this thing, man, this thing was being ugly, right? Yesterday, right, because of the nice downtrend, guys. Even at the open, I don't know if you guys seen that, but we were talking about how the market will come down eventually, but it did. But the problem was it just kept, scaring people, right? The market just wanted to be, you know, just wanted to be a jerk, man, yesterday. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Uh, yeah, this is what I was kind of talking about here. Like, this is why you guys should pay attention to these chats. Why? Well, because look what the market was doing around that time. It was literally trying to make a move up right here, right? So even these little moves, right? Well, how do I know this move was going to happen around 941? Like, how the market was going to come back down, guys? Simply not because of the fact that I just they told me that they were going to do it, and the market ended up selling back down, right? That they gave me a hint beforehand. No, no, no. It wasn't any of that. It was simply because I had certain lines on my chart, right? Simply, that were following, right? Where if the market was pushing up, right, literally it had to sport above here, but good luck, right? There's so many wicks right here, and all it was this was the same pattern that I've seen many times before. So look, they sold it back down, but then guess what? They sported right at the bottom, right? So basically, and then they ripped it up, and then created this channel, as you can see, and then they broke the channel finally, and then guess what? A nice sell-off, and then guess what? Tweezer bottom, boom, rip up, back up, and then try to make it seem like that they were gonna squeeze all the shorts out, and then boom, just a down move. So that's what the market does. That's what market's good at. But for now, we're watching the market to hold above 34 98s, 34 95s, and then even just hold that part right here, basically right here, around here, and then then we'll see a nice little move to the upside, basically a hold, and then a rip up higher, and then of course maybe we'll see 35.30s today on the market, right? Simply because guess what, man, we have this nice little sell-off candle right here and a nice little retracement. So we'll see how this candle goes. The best way for them to kind of do anything today, right, simply will be to kind of trap these people that are short on this candle and rip it above 35.20s or even 35.30s. But the only thing is, this 3,500 needs to hold, because technically we can go all the way back down to here, right, toward the 34.85s if we don't hold this 3,500, right? So basically, if we don't hold this, then we can go all the way back down here, and then we'll see a nice little move, right? Basically a hold around here maybe, and then rip back up toward the 3,500s, and the next couple of days we'll see a nice little move up, right, on the market. Other than that, next stock. All right, guys. Do the chat. Where did the chat go? There we go. There's a chat. All right, guys. All right. What else are we looking at, guys? Walmart, guys. That apparently that deal could be released today, right? All right, Walmart. Okay, so I mean, Walmart's literally all-time highs right now here. So all we have to do is basically, hold this Walmart above, 143.40. I mean, 143, and then we'll see a nice little move to the upside. But guys, there isn't, it seems like there isn't like, crazy potential here for Walmart to, just basically, keep on, going up too much. But look, it's a short squeeze, right, guys? Look, right, they made it seem like that it was done, and it came back down, and then guess what, they're buying it back up now, basically a hold above 138. Yesterday was the big swing buy, and it's kind of unfortunately sad that I wasn't even looking at this when I should have been, even with the Microsoft deal going around, and the Walmart deal going around with TikTok. So basically a hold of 138, we'll see a nice little move to the upside toward basically 143. But now if that 143 holds, then we'll see a nice little move up. But as of right now, look, it's holding that shoulder, head, another shoulder, and then down move, right? So watch that. And if the market, doesn't hold like we're saying, right, that's basically the main thing we need, is the market to hold, and then we'll see everything, rip up. Because a lot of these things, right, even like going back, Walmart, everybody's doing Walmart. Okay. And then BA is just selling back down, man, insanely. Why? Well, because look, a lot of these tech companies are gapping up, right? So basically, that's why BA is selling off again. But BA is definitely doing one of its trap things right now. So BA wouldn't be a bad idea to just watch this around here for a nice little rebound, bounce up toward the 174. If it becomes magnet, right? So watch that. But if the market rips and a lot of the tech rips, guess what? BA is going to sell back down, and then maybe bounce toward 166 area, and then move up. But right now, nice solid downtrend, like yesterday. But guys, the problem is, right, what are the chances it does the same thing as yesterday? Right, very low. So the problem is, now we're gonna have to see it basically try to hold 170s maybe even, and then push back up toward the 172s today. Right, so make sure to kind of watch for a bounce on BA rather than kind of a continued sell-off. I've seen BA honestly many times do this, where it has sold off the previous day, and then today it's going to be a crazy sell-off, maybe even toward the 166. But just don't chase it too much, right? If it holds and it comes back all the way back up, and basically holds one of these trend lines, even something like this, then maybe scalp it long. Other than that, don't touch it for now. It's already made the move, right? We were looking at it here. I was looking at this thing break down here, and then should have taken it, but doesn't matter. I can't take it because no options. But no problem with Facebook. Facebook's selling back down a little bit. So yeah. So with Facebook, if it holds basically this pre-market, open, and even this lows of yesterday's close, basically right here, then we'll see a nice little bounce on it, and then move up, maybe even break the highs of 297 and then rip back up. So watch Facebook to basically come back down toward 292 if it doesn't basically hold here and make a little W right? But other than that, gap fill, hold, right, and then basically a move up in the next couple of days toward even 318s, right? So watch this level right here, 318s. We might hit that soon on Facebook, right? And then INTC. INTC, basically, I would say, with this thing also, right, if it holds 51, right, 50s, you know, uh, basically watching the highs here, right, if it holds this price, after this little bounce from here, then we'll see a nice little move to the upside. Other than that, for now, it's selling back down. We're going to see, what the market does with it. Where is the chart for the, and look, the market's kind of doing its sell-off right now, but it's still doing these wicks, but seems like it's continued the sell-off right now. So now if the market doesn't come back above 3,500, hold and then push back up significantly, right, uh, we're not going to see any of the big moves to the upside play out right away or anything like that, right? So if the market does come back down toward the 3484s and then that open wants to bounce, then we'll see the moves come back down. Other than that, if the market holds here and then sells back down right at the open, we're not going to see any of those big moves. Today's theme is basically watching everything to the upside, guys, right? Simply, even INTC, Zoom, basically INTC can come back down toward the 50, 67 and hold, and then guess what? Nice little move to the upside. All right. FSLY. Well, FSLY was that sell-off, right? Look, nice little downtrend, and then basically a pop, and then a short all the way down, basically to yesterday's lows, and then basically sell off all the way down toward the $86. So today, we see this little kind of a bullish candle right here. Right now, we're gonna have to hold basically above this $92 or even this $93 above the 50 EMA. Hold and then rip back up toward the 94, and then guess what? 95, and then 96, and then higher toward the $100. Right. So watch that. Guys, also be careful with Walmart because of the news thing too. Apparently, they're saying the TikTok news might be out today. So if they don't win the bid, simply they're done. They're not gonna be done, but like it's gonna affect it a little bit. Kodak's making a nice move up. Well, that's like one of those things, right? This stock does that, but right now, it is a short, guys. But the problem is, you don't want to short this blindly because this can rip up to 25. This can rip up to, guess what, 100. So, don't short this blindly. Short this basically, if it holds even below here, hold and then, rip back down. But right now, it seems strong. If it holds above, $10, it's gonna rip toward the, 15, maybe even 12, 13. So Netflix. Well, Netflix is another one, guys. I'm looking at strong, right? Roku and Netflix, the both of them are there, basically, excuse me, working together. Because Roku and Netflix are the same type of stock, right? And they're streaming device stocks, right? Yesterday, Netflix, sold off, but Roku ended up, doing the same type of situation. Like, look, very similar chart, right, guys? The problem is they're gonna do the same exact thing today. So right now, a little bit more to the long bias on Netflix as well. Basically, a hold of 533, and basically maybe a nice move up toward the 540s and then even 550s. But the problem is, issue is, it can, come back down and try to fill the gap, right, and then go up. Basically kind of going with the theme of the market right now, which is being a complete jerk. All right, coming all the way back down. Look toward the, oh my God, man, it's insane sell-off. But guess what? We're gonna probably see a bounce at the open, and then we'll see everything move to the upside. Then seems like that. Then Apple, okay. So Apple, same thing, guys. Right, watching it toward the upside as well. right? So basically, pull back, toward maybe even the 130s, right? And then a hold, and then basically a gap fill, and then a bounce. So everything is basically dip to rip today, so watching it just like that, if Apple holds above, 132, from here, we're going to see a nice little move. Basically, guess what? All time, high FOMO move, as you can say, maybe toward the 140s, right? So, we're going to have to see that. And then, of course, if it holds below 130, we're going to let it come back down and then see, how it holds below here, and then see if it wants to move back up. And Tesla's finally coming back down. How funny is this thing, man? This thing squeezed me out and then just continued. Maybe today is that Tesla day, right? Maybe today is the day where Tesla, comes all the way back down. So close of 500. So this is yesterday's close, guys. All right, watch this. Right, if we stay below it, guess what? We're gonna short Tesla to the downside. If we hold above it, guess what? We're gonna long it. We're gonna have to watch the market, how the market does. Right, if Apple becomes strong and Roku becomes strong, Tesla will become strong. So watch that. Right, tech companies, basically, all of them, end up ripping up. Tesla's gonna go with them. So watch this, for a nice little pop. But for now, very, very nice hard downtrend. So basically a pop and then a continuation will be the play, right? Other than that, if it wants to, go up all the way up to 540s and then even break that, then we're gonna see a nice little move, maybe even up to 550s. So watch that as well. SQ. What's my main focus today, man? I would say Roku. Watching Roku. I would say even a couple of stuff like even Netflix, kind of a little bit of a watch. As much as I don't like it. A couple other stocks I was searching up. That were all-time highs. Nvidia was all-time highs. Watching this as well. Right, basically, hold. For everything to basically hold and rip up. And even Facebook, one of them, right? But Facebook is doing this little ugly thing. I was watching Facebook around 296 when I was looking at it, but right now it's selling back down. So we're gonna basically see it kind of hold here, maybe do a nice little wash candle and just like this, and then a hold and then a rip back up. If Facebook wants to rip back above, I would say 295 and hold, then we'll see a nice little move to the upside on it. Other than that, I would say 300 will be the target today, or even higher. But we're gonna have to wait for it to fill the gap, hold, rip back up, and then we'll see a nice little move. Other than that, of course, if the market doesn't hold, then what are we gonna do, right? But it seems like everything is, kind of the whole thing is, right? Basically a dip and then a hold and then a rip. Another stock that we traded yesterday, guys, CRM, this thing also, right? I was looking at it yesterday. Look, it's forming a very, very nice bull flag right now, right? So the only thing is it needs to hold here, just like everything else, right? A hold, maybe even a dip, right? And then a rip, and then basically hold above the, 273s or 275, right? Basically, if that holds, we'll see a nice little move to the upside. So with this, if we hold above, basically 273.50s right here, we're going to see a nice move to the upside toward the, 280s even, if it wants to, so we're going to have to watch that as well. Also, some of our other main, right? Basically, Zoom. What else? NVIDIA. Oh, do we? I think we already did NVIDIA. Doku is also, another good one. Basically watching it to, do the same thing, guys. Hold, if it holds here, right now, look, shoulder, head. If it forms another shoulder, right, up toward the 252s, what are they going to make it seem like? That it's going to be a shoulder. That's what people are going to short. Then they're going to get short squeeze. So basically, Doku to hold, then a rip, right? So we can even see, 260s or, oh, dude, right now we're too high up. Holy crap. Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing, guys, like the momentum, right? The problem is, right, it's caught everybody right now. So the problem is, right, they don't have anywhere to go. So, maybe a nice little move to the downside and then a hold and then a rip up toward the 270s. And then we'll see, later day, maybe a down flush, right? Same thing, just like, Zoom is doing right now, guys. The Zoom, it's holding this downtrend, guys. So watch this carefully, right? Now, if it wants to break this with momentum to the upside above the 450s, we'll see a nice move up, or we're just going to see this continuation to the downside, and we're going to see this thing sell off heavy, 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 like very heavy, meaning like it's going to dump all the way down to 400 in like a span of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So watch this also to the downside. And then, of course, if it holds above 450, don't even touch this thing, right? Or long it, right? Just long it to a hold above 450s, and then basically a nice move up toward the 480s, right? So play Zoom both ways. For me personally, right now, I'm watching a little bit more of the profit-taking mark, simply because, look, it's up how much? From 310 all the way up to 322, all the way up to, 440s. That's a 120-point move on a stock that was literally $300. That's a 50% gain on the stock almost. So, stuff like that, has a lot of effect to it. A lot of people understand that, stocks don't do that. So 40% gain on a stock in one day isn't, a great, great thing. And then, of course, this stock is just a online meeting company. This does not have, the same thing as Elon Musk, right? Online, it doesn't have cars. It doesn't have, guess what? They're not going to the Mars. They're not doing all of that stuff. They don't have a chip. So understand that side of it. But, I've been wrong many times before. So if it holds 450s, nice little move to the upside. But other than that, it's going to continue this downtrend. Basically a pop and then a short and then a rip all the way down toward the $400. All right. Piton. Oh, Piton. Look, guys, what do we say? What did we say yesterday, guys? Am I crazy? What did we say about Piton, right? Guys, it touched it one time. What did we say? It was gonna go touch it again, right? How weird does that sound? But look, it did go touch it back again, right? Simply, that's one of those things about these patterns, right? Right now, we're basically opening above the pattern. So now we're gonna have to see if it holds, the $78 mark. If it doesn't hold the $78 mark, it'll sell back down, toward the 77 and then try to hold and then rip back up. But other than that, if it holds the 78, it can just push up, at the open toward the 79 or even 80s. But guys, this is a very, very strong type of sell-off. I wouldn't say, a V-shaped reversal would be very crazy. So maybe a pullback and then a sell back down. And then maybe, consolidation, and then we'll see a V-shaped reversal. But something like this, basically means, a crazy sell-off. But look, nice, strong trend, pullback, right? Maybe it's just going to be continuation, right? So basically above 80, it'll open back up toward the 81s or even 82s. Holy shit, did we go over all the stocks in literally like 10 minutes? What other stock, guys? We went over Apple, Zoom. I don't know why this stock always gets stuck in my head. BYND. I don't know why. It seems bearish to me, but, if it holds this 137, guys, honestly, it should move up. Basically, if it holds above yesterday's highs, 138.23s, then it's going to get that extra momentum and it's going to push back up toward the, guess what? We're going to see this all the way up toward even the 145s or even, basically high as 142 today, right? So watch that as well, right? It's doing these little wick things. So maybe, it wants to do that triple wick and then, sell back down, but most likely hold, rip back up, and, we'll see a nice little move to the upside. All right, does the market making us feel a little bit better? PayPal, we'll do PayPal here too in a second, man. Well, the market's trying to hold. So, if the market holds here above 3,500, bounces off this trend line, goes up to 3,507, hold, rip up, we're going to see a very, very, very nice move on all of our stuff, just like we talked about, dip maybe, because like if it touches this, goes into resistance, pulls back a little bit, and then rips, guess what? We're going to see all of that moves, right, come true. Yeah, dip to rip. Everything is toward the all-time highs. So watch it toward the all-time highs, guys, right? So INTC, we already went over INTC, but we'll go over it again. And then also we're going to go over PayPal. My bad, guys. But the thing with INTC, right, guys, just like we talked about, right? INTC to basically hold the 50 and the 200 EMA right here. If it holds above, 51, right, 50, right, basically holds this 51 level and then holds above, 150, 150s, right, or even 151. Yeah, I mean, not 151, but 51 50s or 51 60s, right? We'll see a nice little move up toward the 5274, which is the 250 EMA on the daily. So that's what we're looking at, right? As of right now, it's holding above basically here, 50 50s, or so, as long as it holds this little trend line, we'll see it kind of, maybe even consolidate and then rip up in the next couple of days to the, 5274 level. So we're gonna do PayPal, man. Let's see, PYPO. Oh, dude, PYPO, PayPal is in a nice solid uptrend. So it seems like that they had the same situation as Zoom and everything else. Simple as this, right? Basically, everything was holding, and then guess what? People started buying stuff online and using PayPal more and more. So guess what? PayPal had a nice little, push up toward the, 200s or even 210s. So, probably a continuation still, they're just trapping people right here to the downtrend. But right now, a very, very solid uptrend. So, any dips are being just bought back up. So, this thing doesn't move much on the day. So, guys, I don't think there's, much to be benefited from unless you want to hold this for like, a swing trade. But, basically a nice little, small position here or small position, as it comes down toward the 200, wouldn't be a bad idea for a nice little rip back up, and continue this trend and then see if it wants to hold above, 210s or 212s and then rip up to, 230s, in the coming time. UAL. Well, UAL. Yo, who wants to join me at 7:30s and we're gonna trade this UL every day on 7:30s, guys? Look, 7:30, boom, I moved down. Right? Look, who wants to come and join me and we'll just trade this thing and just make money in the first, 30 minutes? Yeah, all right, bet. Yo, we'll do that, man. Literally, honestly, this thing always makes a move. Look, 7:30s makes a move to the downside, traps people, then rips back up. But look, it makes a big move, um, and pre-market. So, wouldn't be a bad idea using this stock as advantage, guys, right? Watch these patterns and just, trade these things, man. Look, UL always makes a move, nice move. So as of right now, look, guys, it hasn't made the move yet fully. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to, see if it wants to, basically hold here, rip back up toward the $75 mark, and then, hold and rip back up. But other than that, mostly, it isn't a down sell-off. So bounce, and then we'll see a nice little move toward the $34 mark, right? So watch that. If it wants to hold here and rip back up above, the 50 EMA, then we'll see a nice little move up toward the 200. Other than that, most likely it's just going to be a bounce to short and then all the way down toward the $34.50 mark. Yes. Yeah, look, see, ES is holding 3,500s right now. So this doesn't confirm anything, guys. We're going to have to watch it hold. Basically, in the next couple of candles, they're going to try to fake people to the downside. And then we're going to see a nice little push up toward the 200 or even the 50. So even if they don't want to do that, guess what? They'll probably, still just rip it up toward the 200 and the 50. So we have a lot of, guess what? A resistance here. So we got the VWAP 200 and the 50 and the trend line. But if the market wants to be strong and if the market wants to trap people here, which it seems like it's gotten right now a little bit, we're going to see a nice little push up toward the 3507, hold, and then move up. Other than that, if it holds below 3,500, don't touch this to the long side, honestly, right? And then the same thing as Roku. Look, man, Roku's fucking pushing up. Guys, I'm sorry about my language, but this piece of crap right now is, pissing me off right now because it's like, didn't we call this thing literally like 30 minutes ago? But the problem is now we're going to have to watch it hold the pre-market highs, which are going to be the new pre-market highs, 76, and hold and, rip back up, but, I would say, 185 wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly, on Roku. But, the problem is, guys, right? If the market goes into this little sell-off and just destroys everything to the downside, guess what? We're not going to see this thing hold and, go back up. So the problem is we're going to have to, dude, this thing is, I want to punch my screen right now, honestly. But this 1 point doesn't do anything. So, we're going to see it hold, wait, and then see if it consolidates. And then we're going to take a move to the upside and, we'll see a nice little move to the upside on Roku. And Netflix, look, it's trying to make the same type of move happen here. So guys, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take some shares here on Netflix, just so you can have that limited risk of $1 or $1.50 here. Basically, if it holds, it's gonna rip up toward the 540s or even 560. So watch that carefully as well. So, but we need the market support for now. Market is supporting, but if the market breaks, and if it does that fake little break to the downside toward the 34.96 or 34.98. We're going to see some of these things pull back and then hold and then rip back up. So basically watch everything for a dip to rip or just a straight rip, just like, Roku is going to probably do, or even this is going to do. And then, of course, watching stuff like Tesla, to see if it holds this, 498 level. And guess what? Even if it doesn't, guess what? We're going to see a nice little sell-off to the downside. Tesla might be the opposite mover of the market today, right? Or it's just going to be choppy, and we're not going to mess with it too much. So, watch this, to hold above the, 498s, and then guess what? Even 500, above 200 EMA, hold, and then hold above the 50 EMA and see if it wants to push back up. Other than that, if it comes back down, holds below the 50, we wrap, sell back down. We're going to short this thing to the downside. So, Tesla not really one of the main watch, but, still keep an eye on it. SQ, the same type of situation going on with SQ, but the problem is, look, head, shoulder, maybe another shoulder, and then we'll see a nice little move to the downside. Other than that, it's 165. If it holds, gets momentum, it's going to rip back up, right? Basically, short squeeze people out. So if it holds above, 165.90s, right? So 150, 166. We're going to see a nice move to the upside. Other than that, don't long this thing, right? Just keep it. Bro, we just went over Netflix, my guy. We'll go over it again, bro. It's all good, but 166, hold, and then, a nice little rip up toward the 170s. But other than that, it can still do that gap fill because of this little, guess what? Shoulder, head, shoulder situation that we got going on. But, Netflix, same thing, man. For Netflix to hold basically above here, the VWAP and this trend line, hold this, maybe we'll see a nice little move up toward the, 540s, because look, it's literally already breaking out. So maybe, it wants to come back down and fill the gap toward, guess what? 531s, 532s, or even, 528s or even 527 for yesterday's close. So, it can literally sell back down, hold, then rip back up. But other than that, for now, it is holding here. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for, to watch it to the long side. But if the market doesn't push here soon, guess what? We're going to see that weakness in the market and everything should, it's all good, man. The Roku's at there, right? The Roku can rip up very, very big too, guys. So just watch Roku, right? In the first couple of minutes, just watch it. See if it wants to hold, and then if a momentum comes back in, guess what? It's going to just rip, man. And if it rips toward 185, it doesn't matter, right? For it to be up at 177, right? But other than that, guys, even look at Amazon a little bit, right? Look, it's holding here. It doesn't seem like it has too much momentum, but if it holds here nicely, maybe 3,500s, breaks 3,500s, and then we see an all-time FOMO high move. And, other than that, that's about it. See you guys in the chat. Let's see, hopefully a good day today, hopefully.